What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here for the week in review in the wonderful world of the sports card market. Touch on any little bits of news from the week and usually whip around the three major sports. Gonna try to keep this one short today. Normally I spend Saturday, on and off throughout the day digging into this video, but I had my main fantasy football draft on Saturday. So I was out most of the day. So we're going to take a little bit more of a macro look at stuff this week. And not a ton of newsy stuff that really popped off. I usually like to leave this as like a little catch-up segment for anything that I really missed that drastically happened. But, it's still Fallout spec from the Fnatic stuff. We'll probably be getting news soon on PWCC's new platform and Golden's new platform. That stuff's probably going to be coming. I did the video on Friday about all the different selling platforms. My Slabs has been catching a lot of steam lately. I believe they set a couple record-setting sales days that they posted on social about. Stuff seems to be picking up over there. What else has been going on? That's really about it. The weird Topps Chrome Light thing came out in baseball this week, which was a weird, not hobby box, not retail product, kind of stripped out of autos with basically just a bunch of shiny stuff. That feels like a way. That product feels like a way for them. For Topps, this is Topps Chrome Baseball. For those that aren't familiar with it. Feels like a way for them to be able to print a lot more without needing autos for it. Because I think, I could be wrong, the auto's either really hard to hit or they're just not in the product at all. And it's just all refractors, like as chases, basically. So that's a little, it was like a look into the, things to come type thing. These products that are light on autos, numbered cards, that sort of stuff, and high on shiny things as a way to be able to print more product and not need autos to support it. This Topps Chrome Light thing's a little concerning. We'll see where that ends up going and if other companies try to start doing the same thing. But I worry that we're going to see more of stuff like that with them. And like I said, they knew that they didn't know that they were going to lose the license this week or anything. So this product was planned for a while, but I'm worried that stuff like this ramps up across the board. It's going to be very interesting to watch the next few years to see, if these companies really do try to milk everything out of the hobby with print runs. So I think it's going to be even more important to be very particular if you're putting money into guys that are coming out, sealed wax, that sort of stuff over these next couple years till the switch happens. I'm not worried about stuff that's already on the market, but going forward, I will definitely have an eye close to, exactly how much stuff are they putting out there. Last week in NFL preseason, then we get like a weird bye week, and then the season starts. So that should hopefully pick things up. It'll be interesting to see how the NFL market does the next 2 weeks. We'll talk about it here in a minute. The big thing that I saw on Saturday on the way home from my draft, I dodged this bullet, that J.K. Dobbins looks like he had a pretty serious knee injury. So Gus Edwards will probably get a bunch of run on star stock and stuff. But yeah, news-wise, not a ton going on, really, that I didn't already touch on. So with all that being said, we will go ahead and dive into our charts and graphs using market movers. If you want to check it out, link in the description down below. And also, as aforementioned, this video is sponsored by My Slabs. We'll do a little video here, but I mean, if you're selling on eBay and you don't also have the card posted on My Slabs, I really don't know what you're doing. 1% seller fees plus 3% PayPal goods and services. Can't beat it. And they have really picked up user base lately. I notice. I have a few cards posted. They seem to be getting a lot more traffic than what they were. I'm seeing a lot more stuff get posted for things that I am following on there and cards that I'm looking for. So it does seem like people are starting to catch on to these alternative selling platforms. Like I said, I think that's the next battleground. These alternative selling platforms, and a 1% seller fee plus 3% goods and services is very appealing to me, especially because with My Slabs, you get to keep the card in hand, which I think a lot of people don't want to send their stuff off to a vaulting service. So I could put it on eBay, I could put it on My Slabs, and I still have the ability to walk it around shows. So it's nice to be able to hit 3 selling platforms all at once. And if you price things correctly on My Slabs, they will move. You just need to factor in the buyer knows that you're saving on selling fees. So if you really want to move the card, price it accordingly. So quick word from our sponsor. Once again, shout out to My Slabs for sponsoring this video, and then we will dive into the chart.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Once again, thanks to My Slabs for sponsoring today's video. Let's go ahead and dive into some football. We'll lead off with football first, since we were kind of talking about it. A few individual players, then we'll just kind of talk about a macro level. Individual standouts for the week. Baker up a little bit. PSA 10 Prism went from 400 to 450, up $50. That's a 12% jump on him. Not a lot of individual players really made huge swings one way or the other, so we're going to talk more on a macro level. But Baker was one of the ones that saw a little bit of a bump up this week. The one that saw the biggest hit, Drew Lock, down 20%. This is his base Prism PSA 10. Obviously, Teddy Two Gloves got the starting nod. Locke lost it, so his stuff is going to pull back. You know, guys like Locke, Jordan Love, Minshew, like these high upside backup quarterbacks that are sitting out there, it's a little risky, but if you could find the bottom on these guys, and I don't know how long it'll take for them to hit their bottoms, throw a little bit of money at them, and all it takes, you know, is one thing. You might have to hold them all season. You might have to hold them into the off season, but you're getting into them so cheap. You know, if Bridgewater goes down and Locke starting, he's instantly going to shoot back up again. You know, if it gets to the off season and Locke gets traded or cut and signs with a new team, same with Minshew, whatever, there's a lot of easy money to be made there. It's a very low risk because the odds of these guys just moving to another team, and they might not even have to start, just the news of them moving and selling on that news. I think you could probably do pretty well with that if you just were willing to stay patient on this stuff and just sit on it. Yeah, you're tying up some money, but you're getting into these guys so cheap anyway. Like, we all know Aaron Rodgers is done with the Packers at the end of this season. So whether Love's their guy or not, there's going to be a point in time where Rodgers is like, I'm out. And Love's stuff probably spikes for at least a hot minute. And there'll be a window to sell. So playing the backup quarterback game, it's not something I've ever done, but I think you could probably legitimately turn a nice profit just mucking around with those guys. And in my mind, I feel like it would be pretty low risk. You're probably going to miss on some, but because the price points are so low, it doesn't hurt as bad when you miss. So it's an interesting thing. Probably dig in and do some more research on that. Like I said, it's not something I've ever played with, but I feel like there's definitely an angle to be worked there for sure, because you see these prices spike, as we're about to see here. Drew Lock went way down. Guess what? Teddy Bridgewater shot way up. This is his base PSA 10 Topps Chrome. At the beginning of the week was $30. At the end of the week is $65. That's a 115% increase just off the news of him getting the starting job. He hasn't even played a game yet. You know, this is one of those cases. If you stacked up a bunch of Bridgewater for dirt cheap, you could sell a bunch of them off, make your profit, take it to the bank, and maybe roll one or two in the season in case he really hits. If it was me, and once again, I tend to be fairly risk averse with this stuff. If I was in on Teddy Bridgewater stuff, and I was into it cheap, and I don't have to get back to some high price that I paid into it for, if I bought on the low, I'm just selling it now. I'm just going to take the W. It doubled in price. What else do I need it to do? Take the dub, move on, get the money out of it, put it into the next thing. If you want to hold one or two because you bought multiples, that's a different story. If I had one card, if I had one Bridgewater card that I bought on the cheap, personally, my approach would be to just sell it. That's me. Like I said, I tend to be a little bit more risk averse. I would like to just move it, get the money out of it. I more than doubled up. What else could I wish for? Take that W, put it into the next thing, keep moving the ball down the road, keep building the bankroll, whatever. Maybe you bought the Bridgewater for 30, it's up to 65, you sell it and then wait for Drew Lock to come down and go buy 2 Drew Locks for the price of one Bridgewater and then just rinse and repeat. I mean, Bridgewater is no sure thing. He could have a really good year. He could be hurt in week 2. He's had a bunch of injury problems. He played okay last year. Drew Lock being the starter again by week 6 is like 100% in play. So, like I said, I think there's an angle to be played here with this quarterback shuffle. It would definitely be interesting to dig into and do a little bit more work on it, but we'll see. Switching over to football. So this is, once again, price movements by cards. I use this chart all the time. I live on price movements by cards. I love all the different filters. So I have this set for 14 days, football, PSA 10, and Prism base rookie card only. So those are the filters that I'm working with here. And once again, we're just using Prism base because it's the most common. It moves the most. It does give you a little bit of an idea on which players are moving, which cards are moving, what's the general vibe of the market. So scrolling down here, you can see number 1 on sales, Drew Lock, probably because a lot of people, Drew Lock's a weird one. Once again, I went back 14 days here. He had a little run up because people thought he was going to get the starting job. Then all of a sudden he wasn't. So now he's back down again. So on the 14-day chart, his numbers don't look as bad. But when you look at the last 7, it tells a different story. But it's interesting that he's number 1 on sale. So I like to look at this because it kind of gives you a vibe on who's moving the most. Dwayne Haskins, I do not understand the Dwayne Haskins shenanigans. Dwayne Haskins, not good at football. The interesting thing here, though, is as you scroll down, once again, just as a quick glance, you could see there's been not much movement either way. Yes, there's a lot of red, but it's small numbers. 2%, 3%, 8%, 2.9%. Yeah, there's a 30% here, but it's Deshaun Watson. Okay, makes sense. 22% here, Joe Burrow. People are looking to move off Joe Burrow. I wouldn't blame them. I think that team's going to struggle a little bit out the gate. I think he's someone that you might be able to buy back in a couple weeks. Once again, down 5%, down 5%, up 5, up 9, down 13, up 9. Interesting that Dak's down 13 over the last 2 weeks on his Prism Silver. That's kind of intriguing at $700 on Dak's Prism Silver. A little bit there. I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty good, and Dak could see a nice little price increase there off that card. It's only about $1,100 on the pop, I think. But in general, you see not major swings one way or the other. And one of my commenters on my Saturday video, I think it was my Saturday video, I agreed with. I forget who it was, so shout out to you. They talked about, yeah, football prices aren't going up or down much, but if you price something at comps, it is moving. And based off of what I've seen at various shows, trade nights, this, that, the other thing, since the National, really, and on the various markets, that seems to be correct. If you are willing to move something at whatever the current comp is, and you post it at that price, it will move. That's been, like I said, my firsthand experience that I've seen, and I've heard that from other people. If you're over on comps, it's not moving. If you're right at comps or slightly under comps, you can move football pretty quickly and easily. So football is very liquid. It's just not moving up in price, which, once again, as we talk about all the time, means supply and demand are basically equaled out. As we've also talked about a bunch on the Saturday video and leading up to this, I do feel like we're going to go into a performance-based market, kind of like how it used to be. The season's going to start. The guys that play well, their stuff's probably going to go up quite a bit. The guys that don't play well, their stuff's probably going to go down. I would probably be, buying football right now is a very interesting prospect. If you really believe in the player, then I think you can make a play on him. I think personally, the way I'm going to approach it, other than the Baker stuff that I have, I think the interesting angle is wait until like late September, early October, week 4, week 5, week 6. Let's see what exactly is going on. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of good buying opportunities on guys that you could buy in mid-October and just sit on and sell around the NFL draft or early in that offseason, or maybe later in the season if they turn it around and spike back up. We'll see. We will see. I am fascinated by what the football market does once games actually start. We're going to have that little interesting 2-week, 10-day period here now from today until not this coming Thursday, the following Thursday when we get the first game, and then everything starts in earnest a couple days later. But very, very interested to see what happens with the football market without everything getting these massive price increases prior to the season starting. I think some people, if you pick the right players, are going to make a lot of money. I think if you pick the wrong players, shot like water's wet. Duh, Rob. Players that do not play well are probably going to tank and tank fast. But those are the ones that are going to be interesting buying opportunities, in my opinion, especially quarterbacks. If you're willing to sit on them and just hold for a few months, whether they rebound or you sell it in March, April with the early preseason hype when prices start to climb back up again prior to the NFL draft. We'll see. But as of right now, football market feels good, actually. It feels normal. Yeah, sure, we didn't see the big run up in prices, but this feels like the way it should work, in all honesty. It shouldn't be all hype based. A little bit. You have the hype based on the rookies and the young guys, but we'll see what happens once real games actually start. Let's look at basketball. Same thing. I did filters a little bit differently this time. I did 14 days, once again, taking a little bit more of a macro look. Basketball, PSA 10, rookie only, Prism Silvers. So looking at Prism Silvers over the last 14 days, number one on the chart, Trae Young, Bull number two in regards to sales volume. Actually, Bull tied with a couple different guys, but Bull. Come on, guys. Come on. But scrolling down here, what you do notice is bigger swings and a lot more green than we saw on the football side of things. Definitely some up and down, but you see Trae slightly up, Bull slightly down, justifiably so. KPJ slightly up. Eric Paschal, of all people, down 24%. Rui, big bump at a 40% increase. Kobe White down 15%, not surprising. But you see a lot more green in these silver markets. And once again, I wanted to use silver for basketball. There's way more of them than football. You can't really use Silver Prism as a judge for football because some of the years they're non-existent, specifically 2018 class. In 2017, everything's silver, so the whole thing gets weird. But I do believe Prism Silvers is probably the go-to market indicator for the NBA. But you definitely see a lot more green here. Still some red mixed in, but once again, not major swings. Yeah, Jarrett Culver's down 27%, but they shipped him out to die on the Grizzlies. So the NBA market, Flipping Steve said it in one of his videos the other day, and I 100% agree. If you're buying, to me, NBA looks like the buying ground right now. I think that's going to switch pretty quick here. Like I just mentioned with football, I think there's going to be very interesting buying opportunities in about 4 to 6 weeks on the football side of things. But for right now, I think the best deals are around the NBA. Some stuff we've missed the window on, some stuff we haven't. I did the video on Friday. I think it was Thursday, about a lot of guys who just haven't seen price increases yet. So if you're interested in one of those players, there's still time to pounce on them potentially. And we'll see if the NBA market follows the exact same footsteps, as in it's not going to see huge preseason run-ups. And then when guys start playing basketball, then things will be determined. We'll see. I think the NBA sees a little bit more preseason run-up because the NBA market in general is a little bit more of a hype-based market. I could be wrong on that, but I think we're kind of already seeing that a little bit. Time will tell as the dust settles on that. The other major market, baseball. This one, once again, same thing. Filters here are baseball, PSA 10. I just went with Topps Chrome, rookie card only. But the baseball market seems to be kind of in a weird place. The stuff that's moving the most is in the red. So you see a lot of things up here in the red. The things that you see in the green are very low dollar cards. Kyle Lewis, Pete Alonso, Gavin Lux seeing big percentage increases, but we're talking about $5 or $7 because they're going from $20 to $28. So it's a big percentage change, but the dollar amount's not that big. I kind of feel like everyone forgot about baseball. everyone's talking about football. Everyone's starting to shift their eyes, looking ahead on the calendar to basketball. And baseball's really in the dog days of summer here. We're a month away from the playoffs. We're about to probably get September call ups. Vlad's really been struggling lately. Otani's been playing pretty good. Lubob's been playing pretty good. Tatis is back. So as you scroll through here, you see a lot of red towards the top. And then as you get down here, there is a little bit more green. Ozzy Albies up a little bit. Fernando Tatis slightly up. Gavin Lux up again. Once that's his refractor. Torres up quite a bit. Just kind of scrolling through here. Trey Turner, a little bit of a bump up there on his rookie PSA 10 Topps Chrome. Dustin May, a pretty good bump up there. So I do feel like, in addition to the NFL market having a lot of good buys, I think the baseball market is also about to have some pretty good, some interesting plays, if you will, specifically along guys that are probably going to miss the playoffs. I'm looking at you, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I have my eyes really peeled on him to potentially dive back in again. Some of the prices on a lot of his key cards have gotten interesting that I've been keeping an eye on. So there'll be some other players I'm going to add on to that list, but he definitely comes top of mind in regards to the guys I would like to buy an off-season dip on. Now, when they're at their lowest, who knows? But I will definitely be monitoring some of these non-playoff guys. Tatis is a freak of nature. I would love to get some more Tatis stuff if his market continues to bottom out, or if his market ever cools. As of right now, like I said, he is slightly shifting up to staying flat. So, but the baseball market does seem a little forgotten about right now. No major swings one way or the other. We're kind of in the doldrums for baseball before the playoffs start. So we'll see what happens as they head into the final stretch of their season. Does Bobby Witt Jr. get called up and play well, and that cause a price spike there? He's been tearing up the minor leagues. Wander Franco's been getting on base a lot, but no one seems to care. His card prices really haven't shot up that much from what I've seen on his Bowman Chromes. So, but that's really all I have for you guys today. Like I said, not a lot of deep dive on individual cards, just kind of more macro look at the individual markets with some other stuff sprinkled in. Rest of the week, I'm not exactly sure what I have going on yet. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a preview of a new Marvel product, Spider-Man Metal, in the veins of the X-Men Metal. That comes out later this year. Pre-order boxes popped up on David Adams for a hot second and sold out really quickly, with more coming soon. But that should be a pretty popular product. X-Men Metal was very popular. So we'll talk about that. Probably do a more macro NFL and NBA video at some point in time next week. And I also have a grading topic video that I want to get to next week as well. That's been on my list for a while. It kept getting pushed off because of all the news stuff the last week or so. Oh, and the other thing that I want to do, which will actually probably be Tuesday, I want to review gem rate data. Gem rate over on IG does all the PSA tracking stuff and posts all the data on that. He has like a rolling tracker now, but I kind of want to look at it like at the end of the month of August is like a monthly snapshot for August. So we'll probably get to that earlier in the week. I think that might actually be Tuesday's video now that I think about it. So little sneak peek for what's coming up. Wednesday night is Dakota's Fantasy Football League. I'm not exactly sure what's all going down with that. I believe he's planning on live streaming it. It's 4 content creators, I believe, and then 8 people that are fans of his channel and probably watch most of the others. It's Sports Cards Anonymous, Dakota, myself, Flipping Steve from Flipping Steve's channel, and Sam from Women of the Hobby are the 4 content creators. I don't think there's any other content creators in that league. Sorry if I forgot about someone. I think Dakota's going to live stream that. So if he does, I assume he'll just have us on his channel. If not, maybe I'll live stream it on my own. But I have a feeling he'll probably live stream it, so I'll probably just hop on over there so we can all talk trash to each other during the draft. So that'll be Wednesday night. I believe that's Wednesday night, September 1st. I forget the time, 8 or 9 p.m. So look out for Dakota's channel for that. Just a friendly little fantasy football league for us all to talk smack to each other on. So good luck in your fantasy drafts. Everybody have a good start to your week tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.